How is it going, my friends? We are out here, well, I am out here in my room in the corner with my setup, doing my thing, bringing it to you guys. No need to thank me, and apologies. It's been a minute, but yeah, I'm excited to do this podcast. I showered, I prepared. My hair is a little jacked up. I apologize for that, but by the way, I went to get a haircut the other day. I made an appointment and everything, and it was in Berkeley. This was on Saturday, and some of the worst traffic ever. And I come to find out that there's like a huge football game between Stanford and Cal. So I literally drove around. The haircut place was calling me. They're like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "I can't find parking. I'm going home. Sorry." But yeah, I'm excited to do this, and I'm so excited that I trimmed my nose hairs. Yeah. As a guy, I feel like that's one of the biggest things that you can do. That's like bringing out the china, the fine china of like preparation. And we have a lot to talk about. Well, I have a lot to talk about. Well, the royal we. Can we go with that? Probably not. I won't do that. But shout out to the homie Kane. Got me, he was on me. He was like, "Bro, when's the next episode coming out? When is it gonna drop?" And I was like, "It's coming out tonight." And he was like, "You said that a week ago." And so here I am. But yeah, dude, we were playing basketball actually. And do y'all have everyone's got the basketball friends, especially if you're brown, Muslim, or just a human being, because a lot of people play basketball. But yeah, dude, I suck at basketball, and I feel like I just never quite figured it out. Like, kids made shooting look so effortless, right? And, there's that flick of the wrist, there's that, that kind of action. I could never figure that out. I don't know why, but every time I shot the ball, it just felt more like I was chucking it. You know what I mean? So, and for some reason, I shoot with like my left hand, even though I'm right-handed. So that right away, it just shows you that I had no idea what I was doing. But anyways, we were playing basketball at 24 Hour Fitness, some indoor basketball, much easier on the knees, right? And it was pretty cool. We played last week also, and I did a little better. Last night, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the fact that I played in old skating shoes that have no traction on the bottom, but my feet and ankle were killing me. And but at one point I managed to make a shot, like someone passed me the ball and I saw one of my teammates under the rim, and my mind was like, shoot, pass. So I literally just blacked out and like threw the ball, like I just shot it / like passed it, and it went in somehow, and I scored a point. But that was it. Yeah, I'm not a basketball player, but I tell you what, times have changed. I played a little pickup ball growing up, and back then it was all about breaking people's ankles, and, dribbling like Allen Iverson and getting around people, driving. These days, everyone's trying to play like Steph Curry. So it's just people going up and down the court, taking 3-pointers, which works great for me because I'm lazy on the court. But by the way, keep looking down because I have my notes down there. No, I don't, but yes, I do. But yeah, so basketball was cool. Got some good workouts in, and that was good. Mixing it up with the jiu-jitsu, and planning to compete in January, by the way. That's going to be dope. White belt division. So training towards that, working towards that, excited for that. And we'll see about the basketball. I don't know if I'm going to keep up with that. But the other thing I was thinking about that I wanted to talk about was this whole cryptocurrency FTX exchange crash. Like, I'm sure all of y'all have heard that in the news. Like, a huge exchange, multi-billion-dollar, just, crashed and basically defrauded their investors. I don't even know. But the story is bizarre. The CEO basically, so he headquartered the company in the Bahamas, and him and all of his like inner circle of colleagues, they were all banging each other. I don't even like, that's what I heard. And it's been confirmed that they were all in some sort of relationship. And the crazy thing about this is in the Super Bowl last year, I believe, there were FTX commercials. It was endorsed by like Larry David, Tom Brady. So this is pretty big and pretty sad for my crypto portfolio, but I feel bad for Tom Brady. Like that dude, man, he's probably gotten hit pretty hard by this. And what it made me think of was the time that I got scammed in high school out of a cell phone that I bought online. So back in my junior year of high school, this was like 2006, and at that time, phones were not that advanced. Smartphones weren't really a thing, but phone technology was on the come up. And there was one phone that was particularly pretty good at the time. It was a Sony Ericsson phone. You know, the millennials know about the Sony Ericsson, and also like the Razr, the Sidekick. Those are some pretty lit phones back in the day. But yeah, I really wanted this Sony Ericsson phone. I think I even remember the model number. It was like K750. I don't even know. But what was good about this phone was it had a really good video camera. And at that time, I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool to like have the best video camera phone among like my friends and at the school. And honestly, my objective was to like film fights. I don't know why, but I was like, oh, if there's a fight, I can like film it. And beyond that, I had no plan. But this phone was new and I found it on eBay. I was trying to get a deal on it, right? And I found this one ad or this one posting, and this dude was in the Philippines. And I think at the time, like the price for this phone was like about $350, and this dude was selling it for like $325, and I was like, oh, okay. And I jumped right on it. And keep in mind, I'm like 16 or 17 years old, and $300 or $325 is a lot of money. So, and I had never really dealt with buying something online like this. And this dude asked for a money order, which is a huge red flag, but I was like, okay, money order, no problem. And I sent him the money order, and I was so excited. Like, when I tell you I was excited, that is an understatement. I was beyond hyped. I was like already thinking of like what I'm gonna do with this phone. I was watching like reviews on YouTube of the menus and I don't know, whatever. And you know, a week goes by and I don't see that box. And you know, another week goes by, and you know, when you drive up the road towards my house, like you can see the porch from a distance. So every day after school, I'm just like, you know, looking, just trying to see that box. And I never saw it. You know, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by, and I was emailing this dude. He wasn't responding, and I was basically in denial. I was like, maybe it's gonna come. It's been a month and a half, but that phone never came. I was scammed by that man in the Philippines. So Tom Brady, I feel your pain. You may have lost millions, but hey, when I was a kid at that time, $300 basically felt like millions. But that stuff was crazy. But yeah, it is Monday night and pretty good vibes right now. You got that holiday week, you got Thanksgiving coming up, which is, you find out as an adult that that's like the most time you'll ever get off, because you get off the Thursday and the Friday, usually, you know, Thanksgiving Day and Black Friday. And man, to have days line up like that, it is so rare as an adult. It's kind of crazy that we got like 2.5 months off, 3 months off for summer as kids. Yeah, but I'm excited for this week. I'm actually going to be heading down to San Diego to visit the family. And every time I visit San Diego, I always think about NorCal versus SoCal. The timeless question, which is better, you know, who has the better food, Who has better stuff to do? What is the difference? Which is the better place to live? And I feel that I'm extremely qualified to answer that question. So I was actually born in Fremont, which right away, as an Afghan especially, qualifies me to speak on this matter. But yeah, I was born in Fremont, Washington Hospital, represent, and we lived there for a little while, and then we moved to San Ramon for a few years, and then we left the Bay when I was 10 years old, and then we moved to San Diego, which is where I grew up, the rest of my life for the most part. And then when I was, about 21, 22 years old, I moved to Irvine, and then I lived in Orange County for a good, 4 or 5 years for school and work. And so when I was in Orange County, I got that sort of SoCal vibe too. I got that experience as well. I never lived in LA, but if you live in Orange County, that's close enough. So let me break down NorCal, SoCal. Right off the bat, NorCal, definitely people are nicer, they're more approachable, more down to earth. And I'll give you an example. When I was a kid and when we lived in San Ramon, me and my neighbors were pretty cool. Even though they were white and we were, Afghan, they were so nice. We had this neighbor right next to us. It was a sweet lady and her husband. They were both elderly. Her name was Emma, sweetest, nicest lady. And her husband, I don't remember his name, but let's call him Greg. So my mom would actually sometimes let me stay with them after school while she would go and work and do errands, and they would check my homework and just hang out with me. At one point, Greg, he took me into a room on the side, which was their garage, and he showed me his train set, and looking back, anything could have happened, but he was like a grandfather figure. He showed me his trains and his elaborate setup, and Emma was so nice, and they were so cool. But then when we moved to San Diego, my neighbors weren't so cool. We had this one neighbor, his name was Ralph. He was kind of a cool dude, but he was head of the HOA, and I would skateboard in the front yard, and they would send us cease and desist, letters oh, you're making noise, and we didn't. It was kind of a turbulent transition, being in San Diego, and unfortunately, at one point, our dog at the time got out and kind of punked Ralph and his dog, and that was a bit of a fiasco, and we almost got sued. But other than that, Ralph, he was cool, but wasn't really the nicest guy. Whereas, Greg and Emma, classic, down to earth, super nice Bay Area people. And but what else? What about food? I would say Mexican food, best in San Diego, pretty good in LA, and pretty not as good as LA, but still good in the Bay Area. You're gonna get Mexican food everywhere in California. It's gonna be good. But so we covered, other than Mexican food, we didn't cover food, but other than Mexican food, I would say the Bay's food is definitely better. I think just because it's more multicultural, and it's just bigger. There's more going on here. I think it's the best. But LA's still really good. It's also a very multicultural place. But I would say that in SoCal, or at least LA and Orange County, you don't really get a lot of the mom and pops. You still have a lot of those in the Bay Area. And San Diego food it's got really good seafood and Mexican food. Other than that, it's whatever. It's good. It's not amazing. But what else is there? NorCal, SoCal, stuff to do, right? Definitely, people will typically say the Bay, there's way more to do up there. Way better hikes, more variety. You got Lake Tahoe, and you're close to a lot of other cool places to go, north of the Bay, like Marin County and Sacramento, if that's your kind of thing. And then you have the city, and then you have South Bay, East Bay. It's huge. There's a lot to do, but you know, if you want to go surfing, if you want to go skateboarding, which is type of stuff I'm into, SoCal blows it out of the water. Absolutely. If you're trying to go to the beach, if you're trying to, you know, get those sunny day vibes, and, you know, the one thing that San Diego and SoCal has in general, it's got those beach vibes. It's got those, you know, summer day, not a care in the world. No one has anything going on. You're going down to get sandwiches. You're going down to the water to catch the sunset. Like, those vibes are just unmatched. I think no matter what you do in the Bay Area, it doesn't top those like beach vibes. But SoCal, NorCal, it's a tough one. It depends on what you're into also. One thing a lot of people don't know about NorCal versus SoCal is NorCal is way more hectic. It's way more hustle and bustle. The traffic is insane, and it's crazy. Like, dude, the other day, so my commute is, you know, like roughly 30 miles. The other day it was raining. It took me 2 hours to get to work. A piece of me died on that highway, and that sucked. But that was a low point, honestly. I was like, I need to get out of here. San Diego, the traffic is not that bad. It is getting worse. And then you got Orange County, LA. Traffic is terrible there as well. And you know, I think it's worth mentioning that Orange County, LA has a little bit of a different vibe. I was about to say way different, but it's not too different, but it's definitely different than San Diego. So for me, growing up in San Diego, I never felt super, you know, I loved Orange County and it was super cool living out there, but I always felt like it wasn't, you know, the best fit for me. You know, it's a little superficial in Orange County and LA, you know, down there, you know, you know, especially compared to like the Bay Area, in Orange County, LA, you know, you're gonna see a little bit more BMWs, Mercedes. People are, you know, people care. They're interested. They're, you know, they're down to see what kind of car you're driving. In the Bay Area, people are more interested in your gas mileage, or you know, or you just have a Tesla with autopilot. You know, sad moment because I don't have one, and one would make my life very easy. So, if Tesla wants to sponsor me, that would be sick. Elon Musk, please. You know, I'll shill for you and your new Twitter. Just hook your boy up with a Tesla. But yeah, NorCal, SoCal, you can go wrong with either one. I'm just gonna pander to both because I've like talked smack about both at this point. But you know, NorCal, SoCal, can't go wrong with either one. And that about does it for this solo podcast. First one. By the way, I set this up all in my room. This microphone is fake, but I was told I needed a mic for swagger, and I got a lav mic, but you know, production is improving, in progress. It took me forever to set this up in my room. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode of No Joke. Gonna have more episodes coming at ya, discussing, I don't even know what, nonsense, the latest, the greatest, I don't even know, but appreciate y'all for stopping through and giving me your ears and your eyes or whatever. I don't even know. If you're still listening, God bless you and have a great holiday. Peace.